Our guest, the chief guest today, needs no introduction, but I still, however, will request Honorable Justice Sudhanshu Dhuliya to please share what we already do not know about our Chief Justice through Wikipedia or Google, the other side of the Chief Justice. Justice Dhuliya, please.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Justice Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India. Justice Manoj Tiwari, the Acting Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court. Justice Ravind Maithani and Justice Rakesh Taplial, Judges of Uttarakhand High Court. Justice U.S. Dhyani, former Judge of Uttarakhand High Court and my former colleague in the bench, and presently the Chairman of Uttarakhand Public Service Tribunal, and other former judges of Uttarakhand High Court, the civil servants of Uttarakhand, the police officers. And before I proceed, I must congratulate all of you for doing this hard work, 20 days of work in the rescue operation of the miners in Uttarkashi. You need to be congratulated, all of you, for that. Apart from the bravery of those 41 men who were there for 17 long days, there are eminent scholars and poets and writers here. You can see Professor Arvind Krishnan Mehrotra, who has taught us English literature in Allahabad University. And he's a writer. He's written so much on Kabir, and you can Google and you'll get it. There are many others. Mr. Ganesh Sally is here. There are, amongst us today is the former Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, who is also the former Union Minister. Nice of you to be here, sir. Says Madhuri Barthalji is here, who sang so well. There are lawyers of Uttarakhand High Court and various other district courts in Uttarakhand, including the Dehradun District Bar. There are officers and members of the armed forces of our country, Director, Forest Research Institute, law students of various colleges and universities of the state, journalists and media persons, and members of Karambhumi Foundation, including my mother, Srimati Sumitra Dhuliya, my brother Himanshu Dhuliya, who is here, who is behind, mainly the person who has done all this, Captain Himanshu Dhuliya, and my younger brother Tigmanshu, and my family members, Vaishali, my wife is there, my children are here, all of them. Today, the lecture is this is the first memorial lecture by none other than present Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud. Justice Chandrachud belongs to a family of very eminent jurists and judges. His grandfather was, amongst many other things he did, he was also a professor of law. And amongst his many students, many of them later became eminent lawyers and judges of Bombay High Court, including Justice Gajendra Gadkar, who became the 7th Chief Justice of India, was a student, and he remembers him very fondly in his memoir. His father, Justice Y.V. Chandrachud, was an eminent lawyer in Bombay High Court and was a public prosecutor in most of you knowing the Nanavati case, the Nanavati trial. Then he became a judge of Bombay High Court and then later a judge of the Supreme Court of India, and had the longest tenure as a Chief Justice of India for 7.5 years, between 78 to 85. And he wrote many important judgments. I mean, you can remember Shah Bano case and many others. But today we are here and we'll speak more about Justice Chandrachud, the present Chief Justice of India. I can say that there is, as a judge, and before he became a judge, he was a student of Delhi University. He was studying in St. Stephen's. Then he did his law from Campus Law Center. And then on an INLAC scholarship, he went to USA and did his master's and later PhD from Harvard University. Came back to India, started practice in Bombay High Court, was one of the leading lawyers in Bombay High Court at that time. Before he was even 40, he was designated as a senior advocate, and then as an additional Solicitor General of India. And then when he became 40 years of age, he became a judge of Bombay High Court. Later, he became a Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court, and then a judge of the Supreme Court of India in 2016. Now, between 2000 to 2016, if you see the law reports of Allahabad High Court and Bombay High Court, you'll find them full of the opinions Justice Chandrachud gave as a judge of these High Court and the Chief Justice of the High Court. I've been following his judgment. There are environment law, slum dwellers, taxation. And in Allahabad in particular, he wrote about gender justice, his judgments on elementary education, which was coming up, service law. And then later when he became a judge of the Supreme Court of India, and now since that we are very familiar with live law and bar and bench, it need not be said what are the important judgments, but I'll just mention a few. One of the important judgment, the Constitution Bench judgment which he gave in 2017 was the Puthuswamy case, where right of privacy was read as a fundamental right. And this was a 9-judge bench, Constitution Bench judgment, and there were more than one opinions here. But one of the prominent opinions were given by Justice Chandrachud in this case. Then in 2018, there were many other cases, such as when the judgment of Justice Chandrachud, where adultery was decriminalized and the law was held to be not only archaic but unconstitutional. The third judgment which I remember is the most famous judgment which you know in 2018-19 of Navjot Singh Johar, where consensual sex amongst of same sex was decriminalized. Later on, not only his majority opinion, but some of the minority opinion as well, and his dissents are also very well known. His dissent in, for example, in Rovela Thapar case, where he held that if, I can't speak much about it because in some ways it is also sub judice, but he held that there is a procedural flaw in investigation, the courts will intervene. And then his dissent in the Aadhaar case, because it was held to be an invasion in the privacy laws. And he also held, and in his dissenting opinion, that this bill should not have been passed as a money bill. And the more recent judgment in the LGBTQ marriage case, where it's not a dissent, but it's a minority opinion. So, and you keep on, you see the law books of today, journals, they are full of the judgments of Justice Chandrachud. But then this is just a part of what the Chief Justice of India does. It's not just a judicial work. You see, there are 34 judges in Supreme Court of India, and the judges keep on retiring, their vacancies keep coming up. As the Chief Justice of India, the Chief Justice has to see that these vacancies are filled in time, and he and the collegium members are constantly working on this. There is a separate secretariat for that. Then there are 25 high courts in the country, where there is smallest high court like Sikkim, which has 3 judges, and Allahabad High Court, which has a sanctioned strength of 160 judges. Bombay High Court, 94 judges. The bigger high courts. Now, in these high courts, again, vacancies keep on coming. Judges have to be appointed. Chief Justices have to be appointed, which invariably is from other high court. And then at times, judges have to be transferred. And this is a constant exercise which consumes a lot of time of the Chief Justice of India and his collegium members. Apart from this, there are many functions to attend, national and international commitments, and he keeps on doing it. So sometimes, I forgot to ask him, how can one man do How can one write so well? And then how can one be so prolific in his writing, and not just writing, but doing so much of work? So probably on my return flight, I'll ask him, what is the mantra? What is the secret of all this? But one I can guess is his disciplined life. I can tell you his Spartan habits. He takes his meals very early in the evening, sleeps early, gets up very early. I mean, it is not even Brahma Muhurt. He wakes up even before Brahma Muhurt, and then he works. But, and like I have some law clerks who are friendly with his law clerks. After doing all this work, there's another quality which needs to be mentioned. They tell them, my law clerks, that in all these years, not once have they seen Justice Chandrachud raise his voice or lose his temper. So these are the qualities he has, and these are the qualities which are actually needed in these times to be a Chief Justice, a leader of the judiciary in this country. I mean, I can just go on and tell you about his judicial philosophy. That will take a lot of time, but I can tell you one thing. If I can sum up the judicial philosophy of jurisprudence of Justice Chandrachud, I can just confine it to one word, and that is humanity. Human being is at the center of his jurisprudence. And in these times, this is the kind of a leadership where we needed. Iqbal, the famous poet Iqbal, in one of his Urdu couplet, he has said that a leader is a one who has got a foresight, who's mild manners, who speaks well, and who's very, very passionate. He says, Nigahein buland, sukhanvar, sukhan dil nawaz pur soz. निगाह बुलंद सुखन दिल नवाज पुर सोज यही है रख्त सफर मीर कारवां के लिए. So you are the Mir Karwan, sir. You are the Mir, you are the leader of this caravan of justice. I welcome you all. I welcome you, sir, to give this first K.C. Dhuliya Memorial Lecture. Justice Chandrachud.